What is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another edition of Pantherology. I'm going to give you my top free agent offensive tackles for the Carolina Panthers to target in the free agency market. Now, before we get into today's video, as always, I ask that you pound that like button for me, pound that subscribe button. Those are the two things. That's all I can ask. The more you like, the more algorithm gets out there, so more people will see it. So much appreciated there. Please comment down below amongst yourselves. Love to hear your thoughts. Tell me what you think. If you like these guys, if you don't like these guys, I'm doing this based off the cap space and some research. Now, I understand that we can maneuver some things around with the cap space. Any team can in the NFL, but this is just based off what I think that Carolina can afford, but also who we really should target. So I'll leave my shout outs to the end. Other than that, let's dive right into today's video. Now, in free agency, I think the Panthers are considering a couple of our alternatives to stabilize that offensive line edge. Now, as we know, for a long time, Carolina has had problem with the left tackle position. So in reality, the Panthers have used 8 different full-time players at that position in the last 2 seasons. Now we know Byron Bell back in 2014, Michael Orr back in 2015, Mike Remmers back in 2016, Matt Khalil back in 2017, Chris Clark 2018, Dennis Daly 2019, Russell Okung 2020, and then Cameron Irving 2020 and 2021. So the offensive line, which allowed over 50 sacks last season, is in a desperate need of a makeover. And that starts with the left tackle position. Now, Cameron Irving isn't going to make it, and there are still some issues about Brady Christensen's best fit here. The most ideal solution would be to sign an experienced left tackle in free agency who can regularly protect the quarterback's blind side. So despite the team's limited budget room, I won't be surprised if GM Scott Fitterer moves some cash about next month to provide a big contract to a top free agent. Now, with that in mind, who are some of the names to keep an eye on? Well, here are a couple of them that I have in mind. And well, first off, we're going to talk about Terron Armstead. Now, of course, personnel changes from year to year, but Armstead is no stranger to the NFC South. Having spent his first 9 years with the New Orleans Saints, Armstead may want to look in a new direction now that Sean Payton is no longer the head coach. And he might not have a choice due to the Saints salary cap situation. Now, Armstead is without a doubt, I think, one of the best left tackles in the game. And if the Carolina Panthers can sign him to a multiple year contract while still having money to spend elsewhere, it would be a victory for us, for sure. Now, regrettably, he will come with a high price tag. Now, another guy I like to keep in mind here is Cam Robinson, who I think is a very solid fit. Robinson is one of the top young left tackles in the NFL, and the Jacksonville Jaguars will make him a priority as they continue to build around Trevor Lawrence. So Robinson, on the other hand, might want to stay in Duval given the magnitude of the renovation. So yes, the Panthers are going through a similar situation, but they are a lot closer to making the playoffs, I think, than the Jaguars are. Now, according to Spot Track, Robinson's market worth is around $16.8 million per year, which is somewhat less than Armstead's, Armstead's is about $24 million a year, I'm pretty sure. So would be a solid left tackle choice. Now, another one comes to mind, in my opinion, is Eric Fisher. Now, Fisher struggled throughout his rookie season with the Indianapolis Colts. In about 187 offensive snaps, I saw he allowed around 7 sacks and committed 8 penalties. So the former number 1 overall selection has had a fantastic career. So a bad year shouldn't deter a team in a desperate need of an improvement like the Panthers. So I wouldn't anticipate more than a 1 or 2 year agreement if the Carolina Panthers go this route. And then last but not least on my list, a guy that comes to mind as well is Jaron Christian Sr. Now, Christian may not be as high on the list as these other 3 players that I have mentioned, but he has worked with new Panthers offensive line coach James Campen this past season in Houston. So his familiarity there with him is good. So he'll be the cheapest of the alternatives, but that doesn't mean he'll be the assured person at the position on the field. So in his career, he has played in about 38 games, although just 16 of them have been starts. If the Panthers decide to keep Christensen as their main tackle and choose a tackle in the first round, then Christian may be a viable option as a swing tackle. So guys, those are my top free agent offensive tackles for the Carolina Panthers to target. Comment down below, let me know what you think. Make sure you pound that like button. Let's get that algorithm out there since we're getting back at it. As always, go check out the Carolina Panthers Den on Facebook. Check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Other than that, as always, before I leave you guys, keep pounding.